Welcome. Welcome to the Law, Your Money, and You. I'm Roberta Saphire, an attorney in Sharon, Massachusetts, and that's the lake the way we want it to be, not the way it is now with snow and ice. And we have our co-host, Camille.
Hi, I'm Camille Barron. I'm a financial coordinator and a healthcare advisor, also in Sharon, Massachusetts. And today we have a young man who's returning as a guest. And this is kind of a series of interviews that we've had with young people who are really showing an entrepreneurial spirit. And this young man has really done amazing work in that regard.
Yes, and we welcome back Tate Breyer, and he has a magnificent story to tell, whereas the pandemic has knocked a lot of kids off. It's given him the impetus to surge forward, and he started last year. Tate, tell us about what you did last year and how it's going, because now it's even bigger. Welcome, Tate. And Tate's from Arizona. I don't know if he's ever seen snow.
It's great to be here. Luckily, we don't have snow in Arizona right now. It's a nice 65 outside and sunny. Okay, my story. So yeah, this is going to be my third summer of doing door-to-door sales. I go door-to-door. I sell pest control door-to-door. And my first summer I started, I did about $50,000 in revenue by myself. I went out by myself. I did $50,000 in revenue door-to-door. And that was right as the pandemic hit, right in 2020. And it was a great summer. I had a great time. Learned a lot of business, learned how to sell people cold calls. This past summer was my first summer, 2021, my first summer bringing out a team. So I had a team of 6 guys, and we 10x'd my production. We did 500,000 in revenue last year. And just about a week ago, maybe a couple days ago, I just signed my 80th guy for this summer. So I have an office, 2 offices this summer, one in Dallas, Fort Worth, and one in Long Island, New York.
Oh, well, last year, didn't you go to Colorado or some other place like that?
Yeah, last year I was in Denver. My first summer in 2020 when I went out, I was in Minnesota, right as all the riots were happening way back when. And this past summer I was in Denver, which was awesome, all the way from Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs. We were all over the place.
Now, last time you were on the show, you had the 2 friends and co-workers with you. At that time, you were going back to school at University of Arizona, and one of them was going to Arizona State and the other one wasn't at all. What's interesting about your trip into developing the way you are is how these opportunities come, and it's like you make your own opportunities. Like the people who say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. You show that you can do anything out of nothing, just creativity. But I want to point out to the people that are watching, how many times has somebody knocked on your door and said, oh, your neighbor across the street is getting this, would you like for me to sign up? That's basically, isn't that what you kind of do?
That's exactly what I do.
Really?
All right, let me stop you there, Tate, please. Are you telling me that you built up all this revenue by knocking on doors and selling people pest control? How did you do it? How did you overcome the resistance that usually people face when they go around knocking on doors?
Well, I think that a lot of people are they're afraid of rejection, and they're afraid of people saying no. And the key to sales in general, and especially door-to-door sales, when you're knocking on someone's door, most people don't want to buy things right after they open their door. And I thrive on the word no. When someone says yes, it surprises me. I'm expecting them to say no every time. So it really is that simple. I just go door to door. If someone says no, it's the next door. The next door is going to say yes, and you just have to keep a positive mindset of
Well, when they say no at first,
yeah.
what's your first response? Where do you go from there in a typical sales
Good
pitch?
question.
So I end my intro with, most people have somebody. Do you guys have someone or not yet? And I expect them to say no, or yeah, we already have someone. And it doesn't really matter what they say.
Yeah,
I blow past it. If they say, I'm good, I'm fine, I go, awesome, totally. And then I just continue with the pitch.
and where do you go? Where do you go next in the pitch?
I go right into my service. I tell them, here's what I do for your neighbors. I teach them about, I tell them what I do in the eaves, around the perimeter of the home, out in the yard, why their neighbors have loved it. And then I give them pricing, and yeah, I mean, it really is. No one comes out the door with their credit card ready to buy pest control, right?
Right.
There's not a bunch of people like, oh, Tate's coming down the street, get your credit card out. So
Right. Well, what is it that you think persuades them after they've said no? What do you think is the advantages to, even if they have the service, of switching?
So I tell all my reps, I say, it doesn't matter what you say. It matters how you say it, and no one's buying the service. They're buying you, right?
Mhm.
People love the personality, the energy. They got a 21-year-old kid who's been walking around their neighborhood for 9 hours, hustling and trying to make a living through, especially the pandemic right now. So at the end of the day, I can mess up 5 times in my pitch, but I keep a smile on my face and I keep eye contact and
Just smile.
confidence. I put my shoulders back, and I know before I knock the door that they want to buy my pest control, even if they don't.
What you said is this is more than pest control. This is a way of life, of making friends. You had some key words. It's how you say it, which comes down to attitude. And people, like, you could be the best lawyer or the best doctor, the best anything in the world, but if you have that horrible manner, people aren't going to go to you. They won't want, even just to make friends. People do that. So this is a good lesson on they're buying you. You say they're buying you. That's why you have so many people working with you. But so where are you going now? You're going to go to New York?
I am leading a team. I'm leading about half of my guys, about 35 of us in Dallas this summer. And the other half of my guys are out in Long Island, New York, with one of my business partners, and he's going to be running that team. And I should be flying out. I like New York, so I'm definitely going to be flying out there a couple of weekends to go knock some doors in New York, especially Long Island. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm out. It's actually really crazy. You know, there's definitely a lot of luck that plays into it, but I work hard every day, all day. There's actually a tweet. Elon Musk just tweeted it. He said, I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and people are still calling me lucky.
Oh, see, it's not luck. It's you make your own luck. Isn't that interesting? They still, yeah, he was something. I saw him on Saturday Night Live. He was good. You know, just a regular person. Maybe it's not the luck, but what you do with opportunities that come your way.
Right. I always thought it's a combination of putting yourself out there and then seizing the opportunities that come your way. It's not all of one or all of the other.
That's amazing. I told my husband that when he grew up, you know, he grew up in the city, but in the part of the city that changed before he moved. And I says, you're used to cockroaches and things like that. And he says, oh yeah, growing up, I had names for all of them. Hey, Mike, how you doing today? Yeah. You're gonna laugh. Anyway, so Tate, what are you majoring in?
Right now, I'm back at school at the University of Arizona. I got 2 semesters left after this semester. I'm majoring in economics, which is awesome. I love economics. I didn't know how much I was gonna like it. I wanted to do
Really?
business management because I thought that would help me in my career. But now that I'm in economics, I really like economics. It breaks down the way the world works into money, and
Right.
I'm a big fan of money.
What about the law? Are you gonna go to law school?
That's still the plan.
Parents are lawyers.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a lot of lawyers
the
in
plan.
The plan is?
I don't know how much I want to practice the law, but I've always wanted to call myself a lawyer, and I like the way lawyers talk. I feel like
Well, you know what they call it, the practice of law. They don't seem to ever get it right because they keep practicing. Those are the law jokes. Now your brother's graduating from Emory this May. What are you? Oh no, is it too early to apply in your junior year? Or?
I should be applying here soon, but here's the funny part is I'm now at 80 guys signed. My brother's about to graduate law school. I've been trying to get him to come sell pest control. So
Really? He's a genius in his own right.
He's a smart guy, but I believe yeah.
No, I was going to say, getting back to you, what kind of conversation do you have so much time per person? Do they start asking you, well, what do you do? Who do you know? Does it ever turn out that you know the same people, even though you're in Denver or you're in Arizona, or what happens?
In terms of knocking on the doors or recruiting?
Yeah, you knock on the door and the person is, he starts off with a scowl on his face and he ends up with a big smile. Does it turn out? I remember one time you said he knew the rabbi in your community. He was a cousin or something like that. Do you get that often where they know this one? Everybody knows this one.
It's definitely a small world. We really preach not lying and being honest on the doors, because they'll come back to bite you in the butt. So when I say I take care of your neighbor across the street, I use a name of someone I actually take care of. And if I don't have someone on your street, I use someone in your neighborhood. If I don't have someone in your neighborhood, I'm using someone in like a couple mile radius who I really take care of, who I can show you we take care of. Because it has come back to bite people in the butt, where they go next door and they say, hey, in other companies, hey, they just said that you got sprayed by them today. Did you? And they say no. And then you lose the sale, and you can lose all the sales you got in the neighborhood. So we really preach honesty and transparency. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you say, right? Like, at the end of the day, like when someone opens the door, that first 15 seconds, those first impressions, that's a big reason why people buy. So sometimes you're right. Like one time I knocked on this door, ended up being my rabbi's cousin. I mean, it definitely happens. It's rare though. It's rare.
What about the weather? Is there any weather you don't go out in, or?
I'll tell you this one story. My first summer, I dropped off one of the managers on the doors, and it started raining really hard. I went and picked up 2 other what we call rookies. It was their first summer, and they get in the car, and I keep calling this manager and calling this manager and calling this manager. He doesn't answer. And I call my dad. I said, Dad, there's a tornado. I'm scared. I'm from Arizona, right? We don't have weather in Arizona. I said, Dad, there's a tornado. He said, and I'm freaking out. He goes, Tate, calm down. Does it say tornado watch or tornado warning? I said, it says warning. He goes, oh no, that's the bad one. And I keep calling this manager and calling him. He finally answers. I've been in the car for an hour and a half. The sky's getting really dark. And he goes, Tate. And I said, what are you doing? There's a tornado. He said, I'm at 8 sales. I need 10. I need my first 10 day. And so
He kept going.
he kept going, and that's it. At the end of the day, it's a numbers game, right? I'm not selling a crazy product. In my eyes, it's a need. No one wants to live with bugs. No one wants their kids getting stung by bees or wasps, right? So you're going to end up you're going to end up running into people who, hey, what do you do for ants? What do you do for spiders? What do you do for wasps? And if you just knock enough doors, you're going to find someone that day. And he knew that.
We had, when they get the ants and the spiders every year.
Not when I come and take care of them.
So we didn't get, what are the other 2 kids doing now that originally started with you? Oh, they're 21, 22.
Yeah, they were back before at my old company. They were my coworkers, and now they're actually beneath me at this new company. They work for me over here. Those are my best friends. I love them. I love them to death. They're awesome. And yeah, we've just been growing together. It's been exponential growth from where we started, and it's really exciting, to be honest. The growth, it's been awesome.
I think my daughter went door to door when she was in high school, doing Tupperware or something like that. Did your daughter do anything like that, Camille?
No, I don't think she would be interested in doing something like that.
I could never sell. I just could never do it. Isn't it funny?
Well, you know what's hard, I think, and this is something maybe you could comment on, Tate. When you're selling a product that is kind of a commodity, in other words, to most people, a service like yours, it's a commodity. There's really in people's minds that, hey, it's pest control, right? As long as they get rid of the bugs. So I think it's a challenge. And how do you set yourself apart from the competition to be able to convince people that your service is going to be better than anyone else's?
Well, you have to sell yourself on the product first, right? And there's a couple questions that like you have to ask yourself before you go and you knock doors. Like, would you buy this product yourself? Would you sell it to your parents? Mm-hmm. Which I did. In a sense, like, do you think people should almost go into debt for your product? And like I said, I really believe no parents want their kids to be stung. No one wants to live with ants in their house and spiders in their house. And especially as the world progresses, and definitely in America, as we continue to take leaps into technology and really just try to live a better quality of life. Technically it is a commodity, but if you took 10 people and just random 10 people and asked them if they wanted to live with bugs, I'm sure 9 really don't.
Oh, and, sure.
Right, with that mindset, I break it down for them and I make it sound cheaper than it is.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I mean, in my mind, like, it is a need, right? Like, when I have my house, I'm never going to live without a pest control service, most likely my pest control service. And if you go into it with the mindset of it's a commodity, you're probably not going to sell as much. Versus if you go into the mindset of this is a need, people need this product, people are going to buy this product. And it's with everything, right? Like, you guys don't realize, but you have been selling yourself in almost every aspect of your life. You've been selling yourself from the day you were born, right? Like, you're selling yourself to get more friends. You're selling yourself, hey, I'm going to get better grades. And once you kind of click that, there's everything in life is sales. And it really is just a mindset. Sales is just a mindset. And like I said, I teach all my guys that it does not matter what you say. All that matters is how hard are you going to knock for 9 hours a day, 6 days a week for 4 months straight? If you are, and you believe in the product, you're going to sell a lot of pest control. So yeah, it's a commodity. It's a commodity. Don't get me wrong, but so are car tires, right? Yeah. So are cars, and it's like, it's a commodity, and the sense of the word, but in today's America, people are going to need those things, and I'm going to sell them to you rather than you buying it from Terminex or whatever big other pest control companies out there, right?
Mhm.
There must be a lot of pest control companies out there.
Especially going to Dallas. In Dallas, when we go out there, I think there's almost 15,000 pest control companies in Texas. But
Really?
I'm the best, right? And
Yeah.
I'm the best. So people are gonna buy from me. I'm the best salesman. I work the hardest. No one's gonna outwork me, and that's really the mindset you got to have. Is yeah, right? Like I said, no one's gonna have their credit card just walking out the door because you were walking around the neighborhood. But I'm gonna end up getting your credit card, and I'm gonna end up doing a great job. And if you have anything wrong, I'll send someone back for free, and we'll take care of your problem.
Do you have so much time allotted, like to people, like you must get a talker here or there who starts asking you about yourself, and before you know it, it's he's taken up a half hour of your time, or an hour, or too much time?
It definitely happened a lot more my first year. Actually, this is a good story. I get out of the car, and there's two houses in front of me, and I got to decide to go to the left one for my first door ever, or the right one for my first door ever. And I pick the left door, and I walk up, and I see the mezuzah on the door. And the mezuzah is this thing you put on your door, kind of signify you're Jewish. And so I took a sigh of relief. I was like, wow, like I got lucky. This guy's a Jew. I'm going to be able to relate to him. And I try to sell my service. He's like, I already have a company. And then I was like, hey, like it's just honestly nice to talk to you. This is my first time I ever knocked the door. I see that you're Jewish. He said, you're Jewish? And then he ends up being a Messianic Jew, and I get into an hour conversation of him selling me on his religion. So it definitely happened a lot more, but now I have a goal, right? Like if I don't sell 6 accounts that day, I didn't hit my goal, and I'm going to let down my guys who are looking up to me of, hey, can I do this? Right? Can I get out there and can I sell this product? So with a more defined goal of this is what I need to do today, and this is how I'm going to get it done, people aren't going to wait. I can't let people waste my time. I only have so many hours in the day, and I need to get to that next door. If you're not buying, your neighbor's going to buy. And that's the mindset you got to have.
I would say on a typical day, approximately what percentage of people that you whose doors you knock on, approximately what percentage do you actually sell that day, typically?
If you sell 2%, 2 of the 100 doors you knock your first year, I'll be very happy for one of my rookies, right? At this point, I'm probably close to, for one of my first year reps.
2 out of 100?
2 out of 100. If they do that, I'll be super excited. I'm probably about 5 to 6 percent, right around there. On a good day, it's probably close to about 14-15% when I'm knocking about 40 doors. And I'm closing more of those houses, especially in a row. We call it the bandwagon effect. When I get 3 neighbors in a row, that 4th neighbor is going to buy to me. I now work for 3 of your neighbors, right? So
it's all in the numbers.
Yeah, and sales are longer too, right? Like sales will take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, and I'm out there for 9 hours each day, right about there, 8-9 hours. So the more you're selling, the less doors you're going to knock. So it is dependent, but my average rookie is knocking about 100 doors per day.
You know something, that's like what you do. It's like any business. Like I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm thinking about our family business, which is having functions and weddings. And, you know, there's so many. And I remember when I used to do that too. It's like you have 3 or 4 come in. Well, how many are you going to book? Well, I'm going to book 1 out of 5. Well, this one books 1 out of 3. This one books 1 out of 10. This one books 1 out of 20. Well, the one that doesn't book that much, well, they're in the wrong business. They shouldn't be selling. You should be doing what the car salesmen too. They must have a thing. Every industry must have a little workbook or something that tells you got so many customers, you should be selling 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. But you have, it's fascinating that you have one too, and that you're so aware of it, and that's probably why you're so successful.
Right, and that's the big thing with door to door is because it can be broken down directly into the numbers, and you can get an exact, in a sense, like you can exactly research it. You can break it down to an exact number science, which every business tries to do, right? Amazon tries to do it. Law firms try to do it. Car sales, right? But here I can tell you exactly how many doors were knocked in a summer, exactly how many sales. I can tell you exactly how many people I tried to close, how many people I didn't close, how many people I almost closed.
We got a few minutes left. I hate to interrupt you, but I'm the interrupter. But what I want to end it on with that gorgeous smile of yours. But what is the most interesting person or event you had or one of your people had? Let's hear it.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
Besides us, we're the most interesting.
And besides the rabbi, the
rabbi.
Messianic Jew that whose door you knocked on.
That was a crazy experience.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I got another Messianic Jew story of this past summer, and I listened to him. I always listen to people's religion. I love hearing more beliefs.
What's the difference between a Messianic Jew and a regular Jew?
It's the same. Like, they still believe they are like Jewish. Messianic Jews are Jews first. Their savior is Jesus. So their savior is Jesus, but they're Jewish. They're celebrating all the Jewish holidays, all the Jewish religions. The guy I talked to this past summer, the story I'm going to tell you about, his family celebrated Shabbat dinner, but he hosted the church service on Sunday at his house. So that's why I found it so interesting. I listened to about an hour and a half this past summer. He also had a giant house. It was like 8,000 square feet. So I was like, who is this guy? Right. And I listened to him for an hour and a half, and he was like, listen, man, like, I don't need the pest control. I start walking away down the street, and he starts running after me. Tate, my wife says we do need pest control.
What did he do for a living?
He was a general contractor. I think he built his own house, so that made sense. And
that was good.
Absolutely beautiful property. It was like 9,000 square feet, 2.5 acres. It was out in
and that was in Dallas,
North Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. It was all smart tech inside. So that's probably the coolest part about my job is, and really once you start becoming more of an entrepreneur and you're working for yourself, right? And every hard work you do, like that's how you bring the money. I made awesome people. I've been offered plain salesman jobs, technology salesman jobs.
You want to make a little book, a little diary, and then publish it.
That's crazy that you say that, because I got like my little diary book kind of going right here. I just jot things down in it.
That's good. You've got to be kid. We got 2 minutes left. Can I tell my salesman story about, is that your dog? Does your dog bite? Have you heard that one? You knocked on the door, and whenever they come to the door with a dog, and you said, does he bite? Does your dog bite? And you go, no, my dog doesn't bite. And then all of a sudden the dog bites. And you say, I thought your dog didn't bite. He doesn't. This isn't my dog. and
all right.
With that, we thank you.
We have to wrap up. And how fascinating this whole thing is. I just can't believe it, and I'm happy, but I believe it, but I'm just so proud of you that you've done all of this, and I know you're going to be successful.
Because you already are.
You are really, and what a great role model you are for others. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us today, Tate.
Thank you for having me on. It's always great. I'll see you back here at least in another year.
At least. And to our viewers, hey, listen, if you need pest control, he's your guy, and he'll probably be in your neighborhood very soon.
That smile,
and viewers, please let us hear from you, feedback on this or any other topics or questions you have, because remember, this is your show, the law, your money, and you.
And you and all of you. Thank you. Thank you for watching.